All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Eric Tom Show. Oh, there's Billy. Look, Billy's back. It's cold. But, you know, we couldn't stand it. We're, like, chomping at the bit. We got to show y'all something. So, check it out. We picked something that's probably pretty hard for a lot of people. We know it was for us when we first started doing these doors years ago. These doors are no joke. They are $1,000 all day long. Beautiful 6-foot Vigo shower doors. Just puts a layer of elegance on the shower, the finish, the everything. But they are a challenge, and I want to show you something. Check this out. So just out the gate, look, we just cracked open the box. All the parts, all these parts here in the box that we ain't even got out yet, and look at this. Look at this college education right here. I mean, it is a lot of very intimidating. Me and Tom remember when we first put our first set in, man, it took us forever and a day. And we just want to show you, kind of kick this aside. We've done so many of these now that it comes pretty easy. So we hope this helps somebody at home. We want to walk you right through this install so you can start popping these yourself. And the best way to go about it is everybody's opening is probably going to be different. Anybody that does shower doors knows when you purchase shower doors, you have a 4-inch window of getting the bar, the glass, and everything based on your opening. You got 4 inches to play with. So the easiest way to start to show you, we're going to give you a little sneak peek tease. You're not going to see the whole cake though. So come on in. And this is what we want to show you. Everybody's, you know, ours is right here at 71 inches, okay? 71 inches is our entire opening. No need to show you that. Your opening may be 70 inches. It may be 67 inches. So you want to get your doors based on what you're doing. But in our situation, from tile to tile is 71 inches perfectly. So now let's go back out here and we want to show you exactly where to cut this bar with all the sleeves. These are your little sleeves that go on down here that hold. This will get screwed right to the wall. This guy comes down, slides right into that, and then a little Allen key actually pinches this to the bar. So to make life easy, everybody uses these pins. They're hard to see, especially on the black. So what we do, we took on the bar itself, this is what holds your stationary glass, and these are permanently in place. You can't move these. So you want to cut on the bar opposite of those. So that's why we're down here on this side. We have our 70. Come here and show them, Tom. This is tile to tile right there at that 70 mark. Whatever your mark is, which ours is 70, you want to take 5/8 of an inch off of that. You want to make a line, and that's where you're going to cut the bar. That's going to allow these to be put on 3/16 each for both sides, and it's going to allow that sleeve to be slid up the bar and come over and catch that little guy. So once you get that figured out, 70 inches minus 5/8, we made a mark there, and then take you a piece of tape and wrap it right over this bar to give you a straight line that you can see while you're grinding this off. So let's take it out here and get it grinded. Okay, so now that we grinded that and cut it, you can still see the tape's on. At the end, all you got to do is polish that. Kind of take the grinder there and polish those little metal shavings and stuff around there so that that scutcheon, that shank later on can slide on there and not fight a bunch of those metal shavings. Once we get it to this point, we simply just take that tape off, and then look, bing, just like that, we're ready to roll. So once you have this, this is your stationary glass. It is the piece of glass that is usually sitting on top when you open up the box. It's going to be the one that have the 2 holes. The other piece of glass will have 2 more holes. That's going to be your slider glass. So the stationary, just look for the 2 holes, and this guy right here, these unscrew, and that is going to go in the 2 holes, and you're going to stage. What we're going to do is take the glass in here with the rod now that everything's cut, and we're going to get all this staged and show you how to get all this level and ready to start drilling. All right, so very crucial, very important step. You got somebody sitting here with the glass. This is definitely, just so you know, like a 2-person deal. It can be done 1 person. It is very challenging. So one thing that will dead stop you, and you will be so upset when you have to take all this back out, is if you do not put this on. This is crucial. It'll come with your shower doors. This guy goes on right now on the stationary side, on the back side that's going to hit the tile. So we're going to go ahead and get this put on. It has a perfect section already. Once you get it on there, it just pushes right to. And what this is, it's going to allow not only to keep the water inside. See how you could push on this, Tom? You could push on that and flex. So if your wall was not 100% straight, you could pull that out a little bit and it would actually contour to the wall, not being perfectly square. So big, huge step there. If you forget that and everything is right, you go to take this off. Putting that on later just messed up the adjustment of your bar. So now that that's on, I measured the glass over, which was 35.5 inches. Then I go ahead, measure this over so I know it's going to sit in there when I drop this glass on. And in our instance, we have a 2x6 plate, or I'm sorry, we got a 6-inch plate here on the finish. So we've already figured out 1 5/8 inches in the front, 1 5/8 inches in the back, and that's going to put us even. This is just staged right now. We're going to pick the glass up and set it down in here so we don't have to do this after. All right, so here's where we're at. Okay, first thing we do, we got now that we put that back strip on right here, we got the glass sitting in here just staged. It's all even. This is where that 1 5/8 inches comes into play. We got 1 5/8 inches from the front and from the back evenly, so that everything is centered on here for 2 sheets of glass to pass back and forth. We have put the bar in play and just hand tighten these to keep the bar stable. We get the bar level, which it's level. Once it was level, then we tighten these down so the bar can stay put. Last thing you do while all this is staged is put your level on the glass to make sure your left to right is even. Once all that is done, this is what you need to do next. You need to put a piece of tape right here in behind this where this is going to go. Billy, can you hand me that pin right there, brother? You're good. Put a piece of tape on there. Okay, because a lot of the times these pins, pencils, anything like that, you get it on the tile, you may not get it off. Everything is level. We're going to slide that forward, and this is where we're going to trace this out here. Perfect circle. We're going to do the same to that side right there. That way we can take all this down, set it back here in the back and rest it while we put those plates up there and drill them out. We'll show you. Look, don't forget, I forgot to tell you, put a piece of tape at the end of that guy. That way when you push him to the wall and we take this pin, because this is black, this pin will show up right on the edge of that guy as we walk that around and trace that circle, and it will stain that black. It'll stain this black right here. You'll see it after. All right, so now that we have everything plumb, the bar is perfectly level. We were able to get this circle drawn here, and I'm going to show you the other side. Look. See the ink on the tape right here? So that ink would have been on that brand new black, and it would have stained it. It would have showed. So definitely put that piece of tape right on your sleeve. We've got our circle here. Lastly, the last thing you want to do, now that these are 1 5/8" and 1 5/8", same with here, 1 5/8 only. Stationary glass going across. The slider door sets in behind in this track. Now we are going to fill these 2 circles in. So when we take this off, we know exactly where to drill. This guy back here, you got to get a little creative. We take a pencil right through here. I'm going to put a piece of tape right here. Put a pencil line. Put a piece of tape on the other side. Or you can just use the tape as a guide. And then that needs to fit right back down inside that tape, because obviously you can't get to the screw holes. The glass is in there. All right, so look. We drew, filled in completely our 2 circles there, and this is how we go about getting this. Put a piece of tape to draw that straight line there, and then this tape gets scooted underneath to Billy to house this side, so that when we take all this apart, this will sit right back to this tape line and this tape line, and that's how we know where these 2 holes go. All right, so look, there's our 2 dots for that guy. And just what I was telling you with the tape, we put him in here where he squared up, and that allowed us to make these 2. So now we're going to drill these out. So look, once everything's off, we showed you the dots down there. This is how you go about getting your bar. So that sleeve that was on the bar that gets shoved in is an outer circle. This guy that he hooks to and screws to, that's why it's got the threads on it. This is going to be smaller. So what you do, the slit itself, it's flat on the back side, it's indented facing you. That is the correct way. This is going to be smaller. See how it's smaller all the way around. So I just eyeball split the difference because it really doesn't matter right now. I hold that with my finger so that I have about even space all the way around. And then in the center of this slot is where I put that dot. So that later on, if I'm wrong or I'm off a tad, you can turn this slot any way you want like this, and you can move it up and down to get within your guide for that sleeve. So, show you this one over here. Same thing. I'm going to put it on here with about equal space all the way around. That looks pretty good. And in the center of that, I'm just going to put a circle. There you go. Now, if you're off ever so slightly, you can turn this guy, moving, shifting, any of that once that screw goes through there. So keep the tape in play. There's your dot. That's what you're going to drill into after you've made that hole. Then pull your tape off. Go ahead and set this guy center. Snug him so that when your bar goes back up, you slide right on and screw. So look, there was that circle. We've already drilled that. We're going to show you this one. Just take a little rag, hold it up here to catch the majority of that water. Line your drill up for that hole. That's it. Clean up. Okay, so look, we've already got these 2 drilled. We shot silicone down in the drilled holes. Put our screws down in there. So just so you know, the screws they give you are very, very short. If you have any type of plate like this, you're going to have a different screw. They're just not long enough. So as long as they're exterior, weatherproof, all that type of stuff, we shot silicone down in our holes. You can see it, how it pushed it up right to the screw. And then we take a square right on the plate before we screwed these in to make sure that that is straight. We're going to do the same for this piece down here. Okay, so look, both of those are in. They were both squared up. Now that we got those in, we've got that guy in down there. Remember, you got a flat side. You have a beveled side. The beveled side is what you want to be staring at. The way we do it, instead of putting it in here north and south, that could slip over time. So we'll turn it left to right. Okay? We're just going to put this dead center, left to right. I'm going to go ahead and get my screw started. There you go. That's it. Now we're ready to put the glass back in. It's got to slide down in those grooves. The bar is going to go across, and those sleeves now will jump over in that gap and screw on to these threads and hold us tight to the wall. All right, so I'm going to catch you up to speed. First off, all we did was put these casters, here they are. We put this through the hole up top, put the back side in, screwed it with an Allen key, and we just lifted the door up and set it on here, okay? After that, we adjusted this, so we couldn't do the adjustment plus show you, now we can. So once we had these on and they were tight, we slid it down here. This is perfectly straight now against our tile. Perfectly straight with the level. But I want to show you this caster right here. See that small one? It's got a little hole in the back side. And when you move this, it allows this guy to spin. See how it doesn't go in a perfect circle? That allows, depending on where you spin that allows the wheel to raise and or lower. When you get it where you want it, with this already in the back side, then you just tighten that down, and then you're good to go. All right, so now that all those are in there, I want to show you a couple of things. First off, we put a little piece of tape on each one of these casters, just so with the black hardware, the stainless, the chrome, the hollow, it's very hard to see this caster spinning. So that's what the tape is for. It allows us to make sure that every wheel is touching that bar. We're level, we're straight, and everything is spinning accordingly. So now we are going to adjust these stoppers. Okay, we've already loosened this one. We're going to bring our glass all the way till it touches. I'm going to slide this guy in here and bumping just a little bit off that tile, because keep in mind, we have a plastic fin that is going to go on the face of this to cushion. Once I have this correct, I'm going to snug him just a little bit, pull him back like a quarter turn. Now when I push the glass to it, now we're hitting the rubber. We're not hitting the tile. So you don't want to be all the way kissing your tile, because if somebody forgets, these doors can, look, they roll very good. So if a child or somebody young or anything like that forgets and slings that shut, and it can hit that tile, it will crack that tile or possibly crack that glass. So once this is pulled forward, now you can hear that dead solid blow. Well, there you go. There you go. So we're hitting this rubber ball right here. Okay, we're going to do the same to the other side. Just the other side is stationary. Just like that. Okay, now this can slide back a little bit more. We don't really need to. It can go back all the way to this guy right here if you wanted to. Just like that. Once you have it back here, I always pull the door to it so that the round touches the round right up in here. It's straight. Do not forget, like I almost did just now, there are little guards under here to protect the metal on metal. That guy, he'll hide. Make sure you pull him out. Once I go back and touch, I'm straight. I'm going to hold that there. Go ahead and turn. Get him snug. Pull the doorway. Give him one last little quarter turn. Now when we go back, boom, it hits. When we go forward, boom, we hit. We're no longer hitting the tie. Now, all we have left to do is put our plastic guard on right here, pop in the handles. We're just about to wrap this up. All right, so we're putting our last piece of plastic on here in the front. It's snug, it's tight. And once that's on, these guys right here, these are the caps for the inside of all these adjustments we did. I've already got 3 of them on. So after you're done adjusting and everything's good, these caps just go right on, make them hand tight. Now we're going to put the, the smaller of the two. Smaller goes at the bottom. Big guy goes at the top. Believe it or not, these have adjustments on them too, if you needed to adjust. Now, when this shuts, what we always do here, now I'm going to readjust this. Now that that's on, that kept us from banging into that tile. Now when we go down, we're going to hit that and we're beautiful. We're going to take our tape off. Everything's in line. And what we usually do is on the inside, we will take a bead of silicone right here, around that, under the back side of that one over there. We do put silicone on the outside of here, just a bead. Come on the inside of the shower, put a bead in there. just like that, you've got brand new, pretty shower doors. All right, we're down to our last part. And this, let me tell you this, you can ask a bunch of different people this and you probably get a bunch of different answers. This is the way we do it. In the instruction manual itself, it will show you to leave the stationary glass at the halfway point of this. And it will show you to measure and cut this guy and set him in the other half. The reason we don't like that, that puts this bar basically way out here. With this underneath, we don't want water hitting that curb and coming way out this far. So we do it this way. We slide right underneath. We don't have to cut anything this way. And to us, its purpose, keeping the water inside there, this is so much closer to the glass, keeps all the water in, and then you don't have to worry about anything. So all we're gonna do, now that we have this here, we know where it's gonna be set, we're gonna put a bead of silicone right here on the face of that guy. We're gonna stick him in, and right as we have him at the perfect level we want, we're gonna set him right down in that silicone. We're gonna silicone up and over this, and we're gonna leave him that way for the night. Tomorrow when we come back in here, this will be ready to go, ready to shower, the whole nine. So as usual, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We hope this helps you at home, and stay tuned because Friday is our reveal for this whole bathroom. We'll see you on the next one.